Got a lot of words to keep up with. We just had a full 20 minutes there. Josh, fast talker.
He rolls his eyes.
John's a man of few words.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Good,
Ready
good.
for Easter?
Absolutely.
Easter bunny? Big stuff.
What is Mozzie Smith brought to the D tackle spot, and are you pretty confident with the depth you have there?
At D tackle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel really good about it. You know, I think the bigger key is Carlo Kemp, 290 plus, more athletic than a year ago. I think he's really brought a sense of maturity to the inside position. And the guy that's probably made the biggest jump in 1 year is Donovan Jeter. You know, just big, strong, always looked like a pro defensive tackle to me. But now, head screwed on, body's tight, you know, understands the position and playing at a high level. Mozzie's coming along. It's a learning process. You know, he should have been going to the prom this spring, you know, and being at home. And he's here playing major college football and has shown flashes. But this 15 practice is really just a piece of his development, which will continue on in June, July, and then preseason camp. But very, love the man. Love what he brings to the table. He's one of the strongest guys in the program. We just need him to translate that strength, that physical prowess on a down-to-down basis consistently. And that's hard to do when you're just walking in the door. So, but we're real happy with him, no question.
Josh just got done talking about how he thinks his offense can help protect a defense. Usually it's the big clock-consuming, you know, kind of offense that you hear about protecting a defense. In what ways do you think this offense could help protect your defense?
Well, I mean, first off, you got to stand up on your own 2 feet and take care of your own business. So, you know, that's one thing we need to do. But, you know, obviously, if they're moving the football and controlling the clock and finishing drives, you know, there's nothing more important than, you know, filling up the scoreboard with points. You know, that kind of, it's nice when you can sit over there and those kinds of things happen. You know, it'll be interesting. You know, the last 2 years we've averaged 64 to 66 snaps defensively, which is not a lot now, you know. So it gives you a chance to really, you know, when you get on the field, you know, put your life on the line in essence and go and get after it. So, but hey, you know, the beautiful thing is when you're sitting on the sideline and the offense is moving the football, that's, you know, that's not only a chance to recover, but it also builds confidence in your defense, knowing that they can go out there and lay it on the line and, you know, we have a chance to score a lot of points.
How do you assess your linebacking core from
Unbelievable. Right now, I'm really excited about the direction that group's gone. You know, Khaleke Hudson's playing at a high level, which I knew he would. Has really, you know, he was sick yesterday, so I'm assuming, you know, and actually Phil came in and said, you know, I don't think he's going to end up going today, and I'm like, okay, because he had gone the whole. And so I go up to him, hey, you're probably not going today. He goes, Coach, where am I from? I'm like, McKeesport. He goes, I'm going today. I'm like, okay. So he's playing really well. His coverage skills are up. You know, his pressure mechanics and his techniques and fundamentals there are excellent. Understands the linebacker position. Michael Barrett's playing behind him and really doing a good job. Josh Uche's kind of filling in there. You know, he's our Swiss Army knife. He's all over the place. Rush end, package, get out there and be a cheetah, you know, all the things that we ask him to do, you know, he's doing really well. Josh Ross, you know, that's probably been the most frustrating for me. I mean, he has not gone at all. But if you said to me, who is your smartest linebacker, I would say it's him. You know, he just, you know, again, he's sitting right next to me, and he's engaged and understands concept. And, you know, Biggs is with us as one of my graduate assistants, his brother. So, you know, there's not a lot of lost translation in concept. But one man's frustration is another man's opportunity. And I think Jordan Anthony, who logged, if not the most, you know, he's up in that 1, 2, 3 for participation award. Cam McGrone is fast. Now, I'm finally saying Cam McGrone is fast, which means brains on, I know how to go, I know where to go, I know what I've got to do, and now his ability to play fast is being met with, you know, concept understanding. So, you know, happy with him. I think he's played really well the last 4 or 5 practices, and couldn't be better. Now, over at the will position, you got Devin Gill playing very solid, body. You know, he's really done a good job with his body. He's faster. You know, he never makes a misstep. But he better watch out, because old Glasgow's making a lot of plays. And, you know, again, he's another one of our guys. You know, he'll play some Viper. You know, he'll jump in there and play in the packages. But he's making a case for playing a lot of will linebacker as well. So I've never been this deep. I've never had this many guys that I can go boom, 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 boom. You know, they can all jump in there and play. Now, it's going to be competition breeds success. And let's see where the fall takes us. Because, you know, you can only play one at a time. So you either better find a way to get in that rotation or, you know, or win the job outright. So that's the exciting part, and that'll carry over to the fall, and I'm excited about it, for sure.
How much more versatile does Josh Uche make you with this sort of role? I mean, you haven't really had a guy like him here, I don't think.
But we've had him, you
Well,
know.
you have, but to this point in his development, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you're alluding to. I mean, now, you know, here's the nice thing about him. You know, when you put him in to play outside linebacker when he was a young guy, you know, we didn't, you know, remember the old saying now, might have traded him for 2 used footballs, you know? So now, you know, he can go out and play Sam linebacker. He can get it line up at open side defensive end and knows what to do, how to do it, in the run game as well as the pass game. You know, he can jump in all the package stuff, and obviously he's a pass rusher extraordinaire. So, you know, we found out last year through injury, that we were able to, between him and Quiddy, you know, in essence, like, we got first, second down production out of Quiddy and third down production out of Josh, which was an exciting thing for us.
What's it like to practice against an offense that's learning a new system? Or is it any
You know, that's a difficult one. I'll tell you this now. I think Coach Gaddis has done a great job of, you know, got those guys going fast, which that certainly helps us. Because like I tell our guys, we're a package defense. It's not a mystery. We'll play 17, 18 different guys in different packages, and we're going to sub and go, and you better get up to speed and be running with a sense of urgency to get lined up and all those things. So I think that part of it's been really tremendous for us. You know, we've been going through our own, you know, transition in terms of defensively, just trying to, you know, we've integrated a bunch of new concept, and, you know, I'm kind of excited where we are right now.
Josh said that the toughest part about facing your defense, in practice is its versatility. How have you been able to maintain that versatility after losing so many guys after last season?
Well, last season was, really like a picnic in terms of, after the 16 season, in terms of changing guys. So, you just try to, the thing that's important, and that's really a great point. When 16 ended and 17 came, you're figuring out in the spring, hey, we're good at this, we're good at this, we're good at this, we're good at this, we're not good at this, we're not good at that. That package ain't that good. So you kind of figure out who you are, and then, you give it your best shot. Then this year, we have the 18 defense, now new faces. All right, what are you going to be good at? Cheetah? Tampa? This, that, Superman? Now we're doing all these different things, and you're trying to figure out what you're going to be good at. And I think for us to find that out, we got to put it out there and do it. So that's where, Coach is great about letting us do that. I mean, he never puts the handcuffs on the defense. He just says, go do your thing. And I'm talking the boss now. So, that allows us to experience growth and find out what we're good at. And, I think that's really an important piece. And, but I think Coach Gaddis done a great job of, if they were learning, they certainly seem prepared. I'm really excited about this football team. Not just my side of it, just watching our team practice, watching them interact with one another. I mean, pretty exciting stuff.
Probably know the answer to this question, but what new concepts have you been wrinkling in this spring?
What new
You
concepts?
said you've been integrating some new stuff, so we probably know the answer, but if you're asking.
Well, here's the deal. If I tell you,
You'd have to kill him, take
I'd have to
him.
kill 'em. But, you just got to find out what you're good at. And there's some trends that, that we've paid attention to. And I think fits our needs, fits who we are. When you've got, for example, a number of linebackers that, I've obviously been complimentary about, well, you got to find ways to involve them in the game plan, and it really comes down to that. You've talked, Josh Uche. Well, you just don't go, hey, put him in the game, and throw a grenade over there. You got to find ways to be able to put him in the game where it's a consistent, finite approach, and everybody, you're not impacting everybody around him. So, there's some things that go into that. So, but nice try. Great,
Maybe next time.
great option. I think we're playing a hair more, we'll never be a true zone team, but I think we're playing some things that, that we feel really good about. We got about 9 different ways to come get you now in coverage, and, I'm excited about where we're at. And I just want to say this. I don't remember a secondary and back 7 integrated in coverage playing as solid as this group. I'm just saying.
Why is that?
As physical and as mistake-free as this group in the spring. Well, one, thank God, I think it's our 4th year, so a lot of these guys have been with me from the get. A Josh Metellus, you got Hawkins, Ambry Thomas, now 3 years, Jalen Kelly Powell, 3, you can go on and on and on and on. Devin Gill, his 4th year. Josh Ross is coming up on his 3rd year. So and it's the same guy delivering the message, so consistency gives you a chance to get everybody on the same page. So I think that helps you. When you're constantly in upheaval, that's a difficult deal. So, I think that piece, plus this group is as connected defensively as a group I've been around in terms of, trying to help each other out. You know, the older guy is not, get away from me, you're not taking my job. You know, it's more about, all right, this, remember now, you gotta dent this, or you gotta do that, you know, I mean, there's a lot of that going on amongst their peers, which is, the best form of leadership comes from within. It's not coach-driven.
How about the guys in front of that back seven? Any concerns about guys in front at this point?
Well, let me think here for a minute, okay? Kwity Paye might be technically the best football player in the country. I'm just saying. I mean, that guy, he's hard to fool. So I have no concerns about him. Who is going to be sharing time? Well, you got Uche, we're going to certainly give work in there. I just gave you a tidbit, okay?
We're getting there.
And, you know, so he's getting time. Luigi Villain made it through the whole spring, and all he did was go like this and develop confidence that his body is back. So that's a good thing. We got Gabe Newberg, you know, he's a talented guy. Got to get bigger, stronger, faster. You know, obviously should still be at the prom. He's not. David Ojabo can fly. So his development will be interesting. You know, you look at this Michael Dana, okay? He's going to help us. So the question is, does he help us at end? Does he help us at anchor? You know, I don't know. The guy that I think at anchor, Aiden Hutchinson, big dude. And in football, important to him. And has a charismatic way about him that, you know, I mean, I just like the guy. You know, he's still working on some things, you know, that he has to get cleaned up in his footwork. But he's upper body, length, being able to, oh, I'm reached, boom. I mean, that's hard to do now. You know, not a lot of guys in the country can do that. So, you know, you got him. I mentioned Donovan Jeter. I mentioned Carlo Kemp. You know, we got Chris Hinton coming in. Mike Dwumfor's been out with the guys practicing. But, you know, in the fall, on your mark, get set, go. So that'll help us. I count 8 or 9 guys there, and I think we'll be just fine. The interesting thing will be, does Luigi get into the mix? Does Ojabo find some jobs? Like, we tried to give him a couple jobs this spring, not quite ready for it yet. But next time around, you know, it's easy to coach 10, 900 meters. I mean, guys like that, they're easy to coach. So once their brain goes on and they can connect with that physicality again and play at a fast rate, you know, you got a shot to, you know, to have a pretty good player there. So, you know, I think we're in pretty good shape. I really do. I think we'll end up with at least 8. At worst, you'll be 3 for 2. But I got a good feeling about that D-line group. I think, you know, young guys get better, and D-line guys just need repetition. Once they've dealt with the base block, the out-out block, the arc schemes, you know, and you keep giving them those repetitions, they get better fast. So, you know, the key will be how many of those guys can be great pass rushers or good pass rushers. And, you know, I feel really good about it. I think this is going to be an interesting group defensively. We may be a little different because we may have more guys like, this guy's good at this, that guy's good at that, you know, so you might have to piece it in a little bit like that. But that's, you know, that's the fun part.
So I was gonna ask you if you have a starting group in mind, but it sounds like it doesn't even matter if you have that.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter.
It sounds like you're gonna be.
You know, well, you know, in the defensive front, you're rotating those guys really anyway. At linebacker, it's a little different. You know, if there's a discernible difference, you play the best guys. If you can keep the rotation on, like a year ago at Will, Ross and Devin Gill, they shared time, and Devin Bush Jr. played. Not a rocket science to figure that one out, right? So, but if you can do that, it's a beautiful thing, because guys have the ability to stay fresh. You know, and that's what you're looking for.
Does Ben Mason have a role in this at all?
Oh,
Or is he-
you know,
or is he
I
fit?
omitted him. I apologize. He's playing tackle. Now you're going, he's 260-something. Well, he's got all summer. And if there's a guy, pound for pound, that, you know, like you go over there in that wall and say, all right, I want you to drive your head through that wall. He's gonna drive his head through the wall. I'm just saying. I think he's infantile stages learning as a defensive tackle. But why defensive tackle as opposed to defensive end? You guys have a
Explosion
thought?
of the ball.
Don't have to teach him a lot. On your mark, get set, go. You know, there's your blocks, fold scheme, double, you know, combo, out. That's about it. But it's on your mark, get set, go. So he's been really receptive, responsive. He's just the last two practices, and I know this sounds strange, but a lot of guys will go in there, and their hands are in here, and they won't go like that. And the last two practices, he's finally starting to use his hands, and we're starting to see the benefits of that. But he's got all June, July, and then August comes, he's gonna get it all over again. So, you know, he is definitely in the mix. If you said to me, would he be one of the 8 or 9 guys that you would consider putting in the game, I would say that would be an easy one, absolutely.
John, with not to get into specifics, of course, obviously, you guys evolve every year, coaches evolve every year, you
Yeah.
guys every year. But how much of this year's would be, you know, with how the game's called maybe, and how other teams run offense, or what they do to you? I mean, how much of the new things or whatever wrinkles you add in, how much of that factors into it?
You know, it factors in a lot, but, you know, the problem you can do, which I don't have a problem with, you know, it's like we had this big discussion about, well, what about this, what about that, what about that? Whoa. Don't react to anybody now. You just live in the reaction world, that means you're not acting. You don't have, so what's your identity? Well, you don't have one, you're just reacting to the offense. You know, and I'm not saying we're perfect, but we're gonna have an identity. We're gonna stand for something. And, you know, I make that clear to the players. And I think the players understand that we need that. You know, I think if you went in the room and asked them, they'd be fairly strong on a couple of things, for sure. But I think you gotta be careful about being reactionary. Now, there's all these runs from 2018, these different runs, from number 1 through the last one. We have a way that we will defend each and every run. So it's not like, oh, you just don't care, you just let it go, and then they out-scheme you. It's really not that dramatic. This is the way we defend the slash play. This is the way we defend the counter GH, you know, and we go, you know, we're in defensive end, dent, first puller, second puller, you'll show up as I mean, we do that. And there's a method to the madness on each and every run. Then it's just getting here's the key, then just get your guys good at defending all the runs. Now, how well you can achieve those two things will determine success or failure on a given Saturday. That's just the way it is. So you better, you know, be right as much as possible in terms of, A, this is what I think they'll do against us. Now, we have the big decision, gap scheme versus zone scheme. Well, you guys don't really, what am I saying? But, you know, my point is, are they zone blocking because they're worried about all the penetration? Because also, if they gap scheme and stop pulling, they create holes, and then, obviously, you know, we put big smiles on our face when people do that. So,
Is the zone, more zone and coverage, so you just said, is it not reactionary, it's more personnel driven then?
no,
Okay.
it's having, you know, like Coach tells me all the time, more is more. Make sure you have enough answers. Got enough answers.
Sorry, how do RPOs, I guess,
Don't
adjust
apologize.
how you teach run fits?
Huh?
Do RPOs, I guess, change how you teach those runs?
Well, do you know what people will say to you about RPOs?
You tell me.
No? Do you know?
I don't.
It's very difficult to defend RPOs and play a lot of true zone coverage. So do you think I'm worried about that? No. I'm not being a jerk. I'm being honest as a heart attack. You defending zones against what Josh Gaddis does, hang on to your hat. You at least got to have enough guys that can cover your run scheme gaps and cover the guys. Now, that's not the only way to defend it, okay? There's other ways to defend those RPOs. But my true point is, it's got to be, an element of that has got to be account for those guys and still have the numbers that are effective to stop the run. Because if you don't have the numbers that are effective, because they read the box, and you don't have the numbers that are effective enough to stop the run or manage the run, they're going to run the ball up and down the field on you. Just,
Got time for one or two more questions, because the man needs to get on an airplane.
yes, he does.
I don't mean to be flip. Do you get tired of, I think you listen to things that people say, read some, you know.
Yeah, I'm not
You get-
stupid.
Yeah, so, I mean, do you get tired of the Monday morning quarterbacking?
No,
and
I
the
don't- you know,
simplifying what you're doing that's not simple?
There's only one thing that I mean, I think everybody has a right. I mean, that's the profession that, you know, that I've chosen. I think everybody has a right to their own opinion. It's all good. It's all good. I don't like it when things start being said about 18, 19, 20-year-old guys that shouldn't be said, okay? Old guy? Okay. Been there, done that, okay? Had moments, you know, I've had moments when we won 10 games in a row, we had great moments. Okay, then we have the Ohio State debacle. Don't blame the players, okay? But you know something? You live in that world of negativity. Are you ever going to get yourself out of it? You're not. So, you know, we'll be ready to go. Every day, there's a part of the day that you're getting ready to get better as a professional. Trust me, that's the approach I take.
Zordich said the other day, the scheme was good, execution was terrible. How do you, it's an easy way to analyze it, but how does that happen?
I don't know. It's difficult. It's a difficult process. You know, my hat's off, you know, to them. They had a better game plan than we did. Well, you know, and obviously, you know, you look at their season, Purdue, Maryland, you know, there's games there, you know, it just happens. Now, it's beautiful when you don't have any, but it's not happening those ways anymore. You just don't go out and you know, people do a good job of game planning on a week-to-week basis, and you know, that determines success and failure. And when you succeed, you move on in a humble way. When you fail, you fix it. Or if you don't fix it, then just lay in the weeds and feel sorry for yourself and fail again. You know, and you know, obviously that's not what you try to do.
Anyone want to end on a positive note?
How about positive?
Here, I want to ask this. Josh says that Harbaugh's hands off the offense. He's obviously not hanging out with you in the defensive rooms. Really.
Wait a minute.
I'm sure he wants to, but
Wait a minute now.
but are you seeing him? Is he operating things differently? this spring?
I'm going to say this about Coach, okay? Going on my fourth year. Wow. That's awesome. He runs, he's the CEO. He's running the program. I marvel sometimes, like when spring practice ended, and then I look and see the repetitions we've got on, we were talking about plays, right? Slash play, sucker play, bluff play, different situations that we've been put in as a defense. Red zone, 2nd and 7, play the next down. I mean, I think he's a master at touching all the competitive situations that you'll be involved in. He's a master at maximizing repetitions, but once again, keeping players on their feet and healthy at the same time, so when you go into camp, you got a chance because you got all your soldiers that are upright. So that's a beautiful thing. I mean, he just knows what he's doing. I mean, he's the best at managing a team, managing a roster, and getting the most out of practices and keeping the team healthy. So, I don't know anybody that does it better. I mean that sincerely.
Do you want him to hang out with you in the defense?
Yeah, like him to hang out. He's got good ideas now. I got one question for you. What do you guys think of the transfer portal?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about it, Miles.
Oh, I'm not talking about
But-
any individual. The concept. Interesting.
Feels a little,
Well, the jokes have gotten very old, I will say that.
do you think it's a free agency thing?
Yeah, I'm 63 years old, and I'm not sure this was the way it's supposed to be, but that's just me.
What do you think of a one-time transfer? Do you think that would be a reasonable, a freebie, basically?
I guess, it's just, I just don't, I'm not sure it's good for anybody, Face adversity introduces a man to himself. So, Don Brown has a problem with a player, I'm out. Is that teaching a young man anything? I mean, is he learning anything from it? Now, I guess, every situation's different, and, I'm probably opening myself up to. I just, it's disappointing. With all the activity that's going on, I'm not sure that's what we're really searching for in college football.
You can't be surprised to see the number of quarterbacks who are,
Yeah, that's, I don't.
What's the number of players? What's the number of players that are in the portal or that are
All
transferring?
sports.
I'm just saying,
Football,
just
football,
let's just go
quite a
football.
few.
In the hundreds.
hundreds, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, I know that includes people that aren't on scholarship not only the players that are on scholarship, but, it's, I don't know.
Seems sort of
There's something about it that just makes me feel bad, that we're not still in education, still part of the educational process, learning to deal with people, situations that may be adverse, I think are all things that, that are important, and I think, I'm out of here. Well, and I'm not saying coaches aren't part of that deal either, because, there's a lot of movement in our profession. So I think it's a two-way street, so. But I just don't, the fear I have is I'm not sure it's good for anybody. That's all. I mean, you get your whole team wiped out.
But there are gonna be exceptions, you think? I mean, like,
Yeah,
obviously Shea coming, that.
I think there's, I don't see a lot of exceptions now. It's whatever you decide, and then I don't know if there's really an evaluation of each situation now. And I'm not, again, I'm not, I just, you know, it just fearful. Now, hey, you know, something that's, you know, obviously there's a problem, I mean, that's a different deal now. But just, what did we say? Hundreds,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so.
hundreds. You know, that many unhappy people, you know?
Fine, and happy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Are there days you want to jump in the transfer portal?
You having to deal
Some
with
days.
We'll end on that.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Happy Easter.